UFC 303 Pereira Prochazkla 2. Most confident picks at the top, least confident picks at the bottom. It's all the fighters I feel really good about. You might expect a few of the guys towards the top of that list to include maybe a Peyton Talbot and maybe a few other guys we are going to discuss. But of course, I'm going to start with the first fight of the night, Vinicius Oliveira, Ricky Simón. Work my way up to the main event, Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazkla, and give you what percentage chance I think my predictions have to actually win their fight. If you're wondering who I do have winning, of course, you could just go watch the full card prediction video, but I will be telling you who I have winning in this one as well. I have Ricky Simón winning, so I'm going to bold them right here. And I have him winning this fight by a decision, using the wrestling, using the grappling. I did not look at the betting odds before doing this. I'm doing it straight off the top of my head, who I think is going to win and how confident I am they are going to win. Ricky Simón, I would have as around a 2-1 favorite, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit more. I'd have it slightly above that at a 68% confidence in this UFC bantamweight division fight. Should be a good one, in my opinion. I'm going to bold that 68%. Carlos Hernandez, Ray Sorullo is the second fight. I feel very good about Ray Sorullo here. Not minus 400, good, just a little bit less than that. Sorry, I did say I wasn't going to look at the betting odds. It was right there. I kind of saw it. But I am going to have Ray Sorullo at around a minus 280 range, somewhere around there. If it's going to let me type, I'm going to put it at, let's go 73%. For Ray Sorullo, I am feeling a little bit more confident in Ray Sorullo than I am on Ricky Simón. I feel like Oliveira presents more of a threat to Ricky than Carlos Hernandez does to Ray Sorullo. So feeling pretty good about Ray Sorullo in that fight. Martin Buday, I'm not feeling very good about Martin Buday. If I'm being quite honest with you guys here, I don't feel super confident. And I don't think Martin's going to dominate Andrei Arlovski at all in that fight in the bantamweight division. So I am going to have Martin Buday as a very slight favorite. Let's go 55% in the UFC's heavyweight division. Nothing huge there. Just a slight favorite for Martin Buday to beat the former champion. Michelle Waterson Gomez, Jillian Robertson. I got Michelle Waterson losing that fight to Jillian Robertson. This is a tough one because Michelle could defend a few of these and keep it on the feet. I'm going to definitely have Jillian more confident than Martin Buday, but definitely not more than like a Ricky Simón. Let's go 58% for Jillian Robertson. Not feeling super good on her, but 58% is a decent amount for that one. I forgot to put the 8, didn't I? And then we'll bold it as well. Peyton Talbot and Yanis Gamori. That is the next one we are going to be looking at, and that is my most confident pick of the card by far. Do I think it's going to be like I've been looking at, what did we just do? I've been looking at the betting odds for that one just because the odds are absolutely insane. Don't worry, I'm not using that to sway how confident I am on Peyton Talbot, but I bet Peyton Talbot very early on when he was at the minus 300 range. Dude's a minus 1,600. He's a 16-1 favorite at this point in time in the UFC's bantamweight division, which is just, that's insane. For a guy that just beat Cameron Simon, hasn't really been battle tested just yet against like a top tier guy in the UFC bantamweight division. I think minus 1,600 is crazy in my opinion. I do have him as my most confident pick though, more than Ray Sorullo. Still a big favorite. Nowhere near that price tag of minus 1,600. I am going to have Peyton Talbot as an 84% confidence for him to win that fight. I feel very good about it. Again, that good? Minus 1,600 is kind of crazy. So only an 84% for Peyton Talbot. I do have John Silva in the next fight. He's one of my least confident picks of the card for sure because that fight literally could just go either way in my opinion. I am going to have John Silva a little bit less than Martin Buday, not by much, at a 52%. It's such a close fight. Cub Swanson, Andre Fili. I feel Andre's a little bit more confident than John Silva. Martin Buday. or Andre Fili. It's kind of right around that Martin Buday 55% range. I'm trying to figure out if I'm more confident in Andre Fili or Martin Buday to win that fight. That's an interesting one. That is an interesting one in the UFC's featherweight division. I'm gonna go with, let's go more confident. I'm gonna have Andre Fili right there, more confident than Martin Buday, but again, not by a crazy amount at all. Let's put him right here at a 56%. My computer is really bugging right now, so you're just gonna have to deal. We're just all gonna have to deal with that. The next one is gonna be Joe Pyfer versus Marc-Andre Barriault. That fight is very good in my opinion, and it could be a very exciting fight in the UFC's middleweight division. I do expect it to definitely be. But should he be a minus 400, minus 500 favorite like he's been in a lot of his fights? He wasn't that in the Jack Hermansson fight, but he was still a favorite against Jack Hermansson, who I did think, I mean, that's insane to have him as a favorite over a veteran like Jack Hermansson, who just is a much better grappler and is a much better kicker than Joe Pyfer. But Marc-Andre Barriault is just such a big step down in competition for Joe Pyfer. It's not an easy fight by any means. Still a tough fight to have in this UFC's middleweight division. But I feel like it's a good test and a good comeback fight for Joe Pyfer right there. I do have Joe Pyfer winning it. Again, do I have him as big of a favorite as some of his earlier fights in the UFC? No. But I do have it a little bit more around the Ricky Simón, Vinicius Oliveira range. Somewhere around that range of 65 to 70% is where I am going to have Joe Pyfer. I'm going to do a little bit more confident than Ricky Simón, and I'm going to put him right in between Carlos Hernandez and Ricky Simón when it does come to my confidence on Joe Pyfer. It's a good fight, though. The next one we do have is going to be Ian Machado Gary taking on Michael Venom Page in one of the better fights of this card, in my opinion. It could be very bad. You never know if Michael's able to stay at range and just kind of counter Ian Gary this entire fight. You never know. It could be one of those type of fights. I don't expect it to be, but again, whatever could happen, can happen, will happen. So maybe it's a boring fight. I expect it to be fairly good. I am going Michael Venom Page to win that fight. I think he does have better striking overall, and I don't think that Michael Venom Page or that Ian Machado Gary is going to be able to land the punches. I think he's going to be able to land the leg kicks. I don't think he's going to be able to land the punches. I think Michael will win that one on the feet. But, again, Ian hasn't shown his grappling, really, inside of the UFC. So, like, I mean, there is that X factor. Maybe he tries to wrestle. Maybe mixes in a few takedowns. He's training with Charles Oliveira. So, that is what makes this one a little bit more interesting and makes me, like, a little bit hesitant to have Michael Venom Page is a super confident pick, so I'm going to have him right in between a guy like Jean Silva, Martin Buday. I'm going to have Ian Gary, the Michael Venom Page fight. I'm going to put Page at a 53%. Not super confident at all. It could definitely be a really close fight in the welterweight division. Again, I don't know what's up with my computer. It's not letting me, like, type anything, but we're gonna keep on going. Eventually this stuff is gonna slowly fix itself. The next fight we do have is, oh wait, it's a weird one, huh? It is a weirder one in the women's bantamweight division. It is Meishi Chasson taking on Mayra Bueno Silva. I am gonna go with Mayra Bueno Silva to win this fight, but again, one of my lesser confident picks of this entire card. You should not be confident with Mayra, especially after her last fight, which, I mean, her cardio was very bad in that one. But I'm going to have it right below Jillian Robertson. Right below Jillian Robertson at 57%. The reason being, I do feel like it's 3 rounds now. She gassed out in the later rounds because it was 5 rounds. Her first main event type of a fight, 5-rounder in the UFC. It's only 3 rounds. I think she should have enough gas early on to win here. And definitely more than these close striking fights with Fili and Swanson, and Jordan and Silva, Page and Ian Machado Gary. Those ones could all go either way. Bueno has a clear path to victory there. which is why I have her a little bit higher than some of these others. Next one, we got 3 more, and I'm going to go another dog here. We already have, how many dogs do we have? We got Jillian isn't, Myra isn't. Is Paige my only dog so far? Maybe John Silva's a dog as well. I think John Silva and Michael Venom Page might be a dog from what I saw a few weeks ago. So 2 underdogs right there. Anthony Smith I know is an underdog because I saw the early odds come out and they were for Roman. I was pretty surprised. I am going to go the dog here like I've been saying for the past few minutes. I think Anthony Smith is just more experienced in these situations. He is obviously a lot bigger than Roman Dolidze. 20 pounds is a lot. And Anthony Smith, I believe, is going to use that size to control the fight on the ground a little bit. And as long as Roman doesn't land those huge shots and Anthony Smith stays away from those huge shots, he should be able to just mix in some takedowns and keep the striking really even and win this a pretty close fight on the feet. And again, like I said, mixing the takedowns. So it's not entirely a striking fight, but mixed in some grappling. Roman is very dangerous on the ground, but I don't think he's a better grappler by far than a guy like Anthony Smith. Anthony is very, very legit when it does come to his jiu-jitsu. But again, such a close one. Again, here in the UFC's light heavyweight division. I was about to say middleweight because of Roman Dolidze. But I'm going to have it as a tie with Ian Machado Gary and Michael Venom Page at 53%. The next one we have is the co-main event where I have another dog. I know, I'm picking a lot of dogs here today, but I do have Brian Ortega winning, and I'm going to spoil it for you. I got Alex Pereira winning as well. I got Brian Ortega winning. I think he is going to win in those later rounds. I think he loses round 1, wins round 2, and wins round number 3. And again, this isn't a super confident. This one literally could go either way. I'm going to tie it again with Paige, with Anthony Smith. Is Paige another underdog? Am I forgetting about that? Paige might be an underdog. I have a lot of freaking underdogs on this card, which is interesting. So I'm going to have, not $53, 53% confidence for Brian Ortega there as well in the featherweight division. Last but not least, Alex Pereira isn't going to be more than, I don't know if I actually copied it. No, I did not. So we're going to go back a little bit here. My bad. I'm coming back to the prediction game. My bad, guys. But I don't think Alex is as high as a Ray Saruya, as a Peyton Talbot. But I believe I'm gonna up Saruya just a little bit, 75%, but I think Alex is in between there somewhere. Joe Pyfer and Ray Saruya, I'm going to go 72% for the champ, Alex Pereira. Some good fights here, a lot of prospects, a lot of prospects on this card. Peyton Talbot, the prospect, is my most confident pick. Ray Saruya, another prospect, is my second most confident pick. The champ, third most confident, Joe Pyfer there. Ricky Simone, we got Jillian Roberson at 58% as well. Myra Bueno Silva, I don't know why it keeps doing that. My computer is horrible today. Jesus Christ. Stop doing that. Jesus. Wow. This computer's bugging today. But Myra Bueno Silva, Andre Fili, Martin Bade, Michael Venom Page, Brian Ortega, Anthony Smith, and John Silva. Again, I did not actually realize I had this many underdogs on the card, but I think Brian Ortega is an underdog. I know for a fact Anthony Smith is. I think John Silva is as well, which is interesting that all my underdogs are my least confident picks. That's why they're underdogs. That's why they're lower in confidence. Martin Bade is a favorite. Andre Fili, I believe, is a favorite. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 underdogs right here. I think that's it. I think it's just those 4. And then everybody else I'm picking favorites. So 4 favorites. Sorry, 4 underdogs, 9 favorites. My math is horrible today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm rusty to that YouTube game. But yeah, I think 4 underdogs, 9 favorites for UFC 303. I'm sorry about my freaking computer. I literally just went right here and copied all of these, put it on Google document, and it's really not letting me press around. Now it is for no reason, but earlier it wasn't really letting me. But thank you guys for watching this Confident Picks video. It's one of my first Confident Picks video in a while. But like and subscribe, put your confident picks down below, and check the Patreon as well for all of my bets and more. I got all the rankings and things like that. A lot of exclusive stuff on the Patreon. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.